Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and I have a fun little card for you guys for this week's Color Throwdown Challenge, which I will have linked to on my blog. And this week's colors were pink, orange, and green. So I immediately thought of this little flower stamp from the new Simon Says stamp. This is the Happy Day stamp set. This is part of their May card kit. So I will have links to everything in the supplies as always. So I stamped the flower onto just some post-it tape, and I fussy cut out the flower and the petal, and then I had stamped it a second time, and I just trimmed around the face, and you'll see why here in a minute. And then I have some white cardstock that I had trimmed down to, I think it's like 4 1/4 inches by a little over 2 inches. And I inked up the stamp again. This is the Simon Says stamp Intense Black ink. And I stamped the image as is. And then I wiped off just the face with a baby wipe. And then I used my fingers to make sure I removed all ink residue from the face. And then I used that little mask I'd cut of just the face to mask off that portion of it. And then the other 2 masks I used to cover that first stamped image. Then I inked up the stamp again with that little mask over the face, and then I peeled off that mask with my scissors so that I didn't get a bunch of ink all over my fingers. And then you can see I'm stamping the image again without the little happy face, because I only wanted the first stamped flower to have that little happy face. I wanted the rest to just be plain. And another way of going around this is I could have trimmed the stamp itself, like used a X-Acto knife and like trimmed out the center. That is totally an option. If you do it carefully enough, you can still keep reusing the stamp, like stamp it with the face, without the face. I just didn't feel like doing that today. It was easier, I guess, in a way, to just mask off the face because I just wasn't in the mood to do some stamp surgery. But that's always another way to get some more use out of your stamps. So I just masked off each of those flowers, just moving the mask until I had them all stamped. And then to color them in, I'm using my very much neglected Copics. I always say this when I do a video with them, but it's true. Over the last year, I've become so obsessed with watercolor, so I haven't been using my Copics as much. So they've just been sitting. Some of these colors I have not used in well over a year. And I've noticed, and you can see when I take the lids off them, they're leaking a little bit. That's not a big deal. It's more just because they need, one, they need to be used, and 2, it helps if you're not using your Copics for long amounts of time to take the lids off every once in a while, both lids off each end, and just lay them flat so that the ink can kind of travel back and forth between each end properly. Mine have been sitting on an angle with the lids on for literally over a year. And yeah, they're kind of just leaky. They still work just fine. I need to find some time to do a little bit of marker maintenance. I've had my Copics for well over 10 years now, so they do last a very long time. I just need to take better care of them. So I was aware of this issue though, and trying to keep my stamped and colored panel away from the leaky mess. And then after I put the lids back on the markers, I cleaned them up. So anywho, back to the card at hand. I kept my color palette really, really simple, and the coloring itself really, really simple. I just worked darkest to lightest. And you could see the colors as the lids are right there. The smallest, that little chow lid, that was the lightest color there. That's the RV13. And yeah, I would just apply my darkest color first, then I added a little bit of the medium color to blend out the dark, and then the lightest to blend them all together, and super, super simple. I didn't want to do a whole lot of fancy blending, anything like that. Images like this kind of lend themselves to easier coloring. And then for the leaves, I just used 2 colors instead of 3 this time. And I just used YG 67 and 63. And then the pattern paper that comes in the Simon Says May card kit was perfect for this color challenge. I think it's a lawn fawn paper, so I'll try to link to that separately as well. And I just adhered the stamped and colored panel, some foam tape to that. And then I just added a little strip of green cardstock to pull in the green with that. And then the sentiment is actually a pink Fresh Felicity stickers. Again, comes in the card kit. And I really love them. I had a hard time choosing which ones to use on this card. There was just so many good sentiments. So they're really, really thick. They're not like paper thin stickers. They're more like heavyweight cardstock stickers. So I really, really like them. So I adhered that, and then adhered the pattern paper to my card base. And I was in the zone. I didn't realize I was still fairly zoomed in when I was making the rest of this card. and grabbed some AmyR's gingham ribbon from my stash. I had this orange 3/8 inch gingham ribbon, which again, perfect for the color challenge. So wrapped that around my card front and tied it in a bow. And then some Simon Says stamp sequins to finish it off. So I just placed them where I wanted them to be on the card, and then used my Ranger multi-medium matte adhesive and just squeezed a little bit in each area where I wanted to adhere the sequins. Press the sequins into it, and then you just let it dry, and then they are really good in adhere. This is my absolute favorite adhesive for sequins. And then to finish off the inside, I have just a little bit left of this particular plaid pattern. So I took both pieces and just kind of color block adhered them basically to the inside of the card, and then grabbed one more of these sticker sentiments just to kind of finish it off. And then I'm going to flip that over and trim off that piece of pattern paper that hangs over the edge, and that finish off the card. So I will have a link below the video to my blog post. It'll have links to the color challenge if you'd like to play along, as well as links to all the supplies used. So just check that out below in the description box if any of that interests you. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping my videos and all the comments. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.